Welcome, fellow armchair generals, to the Great War, the start of the 20th century. It sets the mood for the 20th century, a very violent century, at least roughly the first half of it. But, yeah, so we're going to be playing Hearts of Iron 4's, the Great War mod for Hearts of Iron 4. Okay, I'm starting at this screen. Normally I start at after loading. I want to talk a little bit about the difficulty settings here. Sometimes on some of the different games I'm asked on what difficulty I play, and this is just when I'm making this is just after the Paradox conference, and I saw Dan or Podcat on the forums there, the Hearts of Iron 4 lead developer, talking about the difficulty settings, and they recently added this one. So I wanted to talk about my thoughts on these. And these shouldn't too much affect you, but just to give you why, whether it's playing Napoleon Total War or any of the other games, and though there is that term game in there, I want to play on what's sort of thought as the base history level of the game, what they think is the most historical, and yeah, there are game balance issues, but in World War II, Poland is supposed to die fast. It's not supposed to be balanced out between Germany and Soviet Union and is another equal power. This isn't chess. This is real world, almost simulation, or thoughts on simulation. So I like to play on regular because that's what I take, whether it's a mod designer, game designer's base level of interpreting history. If you are fighting, refighting a historical battle, and historically you lost, well, if you can win, you're doing a lot better than history. You're supposed to lose, kind of thing, if you're refighting a historical battle, but you might be able to pull out a win, but it's supposed to come out lose. Germany, if this is history, is supposed to lose. It's not supposed to be equally balanced with the Allies or the Entente, or whatever we want to call them, in this game. So they're supposed to lose. That doesn't mean Germany can't win. Even if you do a reasonably well historically balanced game. But there is the game aspect, and that's what the other things. If difficulty settings was setting the smartness of the AI, Elite is playing, I don't know, von Manstein or Guderian, and Civilian is playing Colonel Klink, as the AI opponent. Oh, hey, yeah, I would be, once I got the hang of a game, I'd be clicking up, hopefully, to, try to defeat a smarter player. But what these do is just give you or negative penalties, or give your opponents bonuses. So I don't like to play on harder levels. I did, not my current, but my previous Hearts of Iron 3 campaign on the harder level than regular. And I won in multiple ways. But, so, yes, it may not give me a challenge as a player, which is a bad thing, because of the lack of the AI. But it's what I want to try to play historically based, and yes, I do understand it's a game. And getting back to the game element, they do a lot of research, at least Podcat does, on Hearts of Iron 4, and he really likes numbers and metrics. So when we all go, we want this, we want that, like, we want fuel, and they're looking at, we sold now 1 million copies of the game, and it's being played a whole lot more than it was at start. So we must be doing good. And to a point, he's right. They're doing good. They're more daily players than at start of the game. That's because the game sucked at start. But that's another thing. And now it doesn't suck. It may not be very good, meeting your expectations. So, of course, they're sort of project developer, business developer there. I follow his Twitter account. Commented that the biggest reaction for their big announcement, I don't know, ceremony where they announced the new games, including the new Imperator game that they're doing, as well as announcing the new DLC. Their biggest crowd cheer that they got was when they announced officially that fuel was coming back as a consumable for Hearts of Iron 4. Because that's what you, or that's what I, and probably many of you, we want fuel. Well, okay, yeah. The mere fact that you don't have fuel in the game doesn't necessarily mean the game doesn't work, or isn't good, or isn't going to have a lot of people playing it, but it is something that's really severely lacking in the game. And so sometimes they don't quite get that because they look at some of the other numbers, but then sometimes they are right that what I, and maybe many of you, want are the traditional Hearts of Iron 3 counters that maybe most players who are stepping up from a Total War series game want the big giant men on the map. So sometimes I think they're right for the masses, but I still want options. So he looks at all the metrics, and some of the stuff that he got back is that a lot of people, because they commented that this game is so easy to win, the standard one. I haven't played this before other than just testing out the start of it a couple of times here. I'll get to that in a moment. So that a lot of people seem to like to play this as an ant farm, as a game to relax on. So not how I ever want to play the game. That's why they created this sort of civilian level, so that it's super easy. So that they just sort of, someone sort of sets it up and sets all the battle plans and just sort of watch it happen as a relaxing thing. So they added that newer, easier mode of play. Give you some background on that. So we are going to play playing the 1914 start of this. I think that's most appropriate. Now, I will say this. I did make an episode that I think I don't know if it'll ever get shown. I'm sort of redoing it. I had a crash in July. And then I tested it, and I get well past July, and it was fine. And I just, without making another episode, I played it again, and I had a crash in July after the start of the war. I seem to be on calling in some allies. So, we're going to play this, get to a point, save it, just in case, and we may have to fight our way through it. Okay, so, let's start out here. Research. You guys know I'm sort of an infrastructural type player, or a, whatever, call it. We're going to doing flashy tactics. Let's do one over here. The machine gun is, I'll say this right now, the two big changing effects for World War II that changed it from all previous wars. You saw some foreshadowing in the Russo-Japanese War, but are the combination of two things. Machine guns and barbed wire. Sure, artillery, and I'm sure we'll talk about this, is probably the biggest killing instrument in the war. More people die from artillery than anything else. I do believe this stats, but it's the barbed wire combined with the machine guns that make the war as static as it is, so that artillery then becomes such the killing element of little factories like that. I think that's Good. I want some fighters. Or to the ground attack. Don't know how effective they are. It's also fun of it. And we'll build some armored cars. That sort of takes up our oil. The rest of our naval, submarine. Focus any new additional shipyards on submarines. Yeah. Well, numbers are what really counts. Now, I will, I guess, let's do get some more models. The Danish Madsen is a complicated, but actually a rather good gun for light machine gun. I think Germany did use some, but not a style that I would have picked. But I think that's a reasonably good. And like I say, I've played just parts of 1914 a few times. Things like all these seem to be, well, mostly. I want to do this to unlock some of the sort of player, if you will. So, okay, now. Let's be. I don't know how we're gonna do with equipment. Okay, I don't know how well that will in production levels there. Now, giving us a fair amount of points. And it seems like it doesn't know it, but we we'll do that. Well, then we start to know where we're clicking on units too, so division speed. Sort of takes care of our starting. That up there now. I had toyed with the idea of trying an attack through here, but it doesn't seem to really be worth it. The war's gonna come faster than at least I know me prepared for. Things will come slightly faster. We start thinking August is the start. Okay. So, let's speed this up. Okay, again, welcome to the Great War. You are a veteran player of Hearts of Iron Saga and you want to experience a new challenge. Again, I'm going to go with standard. No disease here. And your penalty. So, if you've mastered the game and you're bored with the standard levels, please do play on a harder level. Don't let me stop you from doing that because of my... I guess if Germany conquers all of the world in World War I super easy, well, then there's something broken with the game. It's just my opinion on it. And I know I want to balance things out. Okay, so let's set up over here. I think that might be Fortress Bastion. And let's find theater command. Have your okay, this is going to be okay. And theater. Oh, that didn't work out right. Theater, there we go. I'm sure you like watching things be redone multiple times. And our east front. Okay. There we go. Decent amount. That'll be sort of our structure. I think we're going to be facing. As you can sort of tell from what I'm setting up, I'm looking at holding the west front on a sort of defensive posture. And trying to take down Russia. I'm looking at doing. do think Hearts of Iron War's mechanics lend itself very well to that's better than World War II, so Google's impression. Please place. For the west. This is front. Front. What I'm thinking of doing is trying to push down here to cut off all of this, trying to push up over here for the two initial goals. The Soviets are, yeah, I've been having this whole time having to watch myself without calling it Russia. Soviet Union. They weren't part of the unit yet. Yeah. We'll do one next. But I say we'll do that fortress maybe. So I have seen a really nicely polarized one in his Hussars, or a version of his Hussars. Gonna Togoland is impractical to defend at all. These guys are actually camel cords, and some of them are cords. There. No, I don't think. One. other. And then down here. Iron Horse nice now. Earlier versions than two. At least for the moment, let's. Let's have these. Okay. Are these well at all? We have battleships face off against British. So we try a being, or will we try plausible? But very different ranges. Okay, high fleet there we are. Floating flag shot. Historical immersion is really neat, really important. Well, I don't know if it's important, but I don't really, quite honestly, want to. Submarines are first technology. That or two later. Okay, I'll get that on speed. Like that. And the battleship here, I thought. Right there. Okay, Dresden. Flying cell. Okay. A regular. There we go, at least some naval organization. And I'm going to shift my limited amount of fighters Down to Africa. Start with port. Really don't like whoever did the color sense for military colors. Correct. I'd like a tan, a field gray, and it's presumably here, but RGB color, everything, I don't know. Okay, there we go. And we will get it. Africa Glow. Where to, but I think it's relatively appropriate. He's just going to command those games. However, how he could do that, I don't know, but not in real life practice. That's okay. Solid. Yeah. Over probably not the best place. We'll create sort of a laser here. I like it. Here. Albert. Oh, Fortune. Reserve. All right. Let's just save this part. You have some levels of French. Try to hold the French. Oh, we've got a Mediterranean vision. Okay. Oh, that's inspiring me. Inspiring me greatly. Let's select these guys. And That way they can play in the Mediterranean. Pretty sound. Production. More regular infantry equipment. More field guns. More support equipment. These might be big. Oh, balance the horse. Okay, let's ew. Way too cool. Match that. Again, I hate. More primary colors. See this one. Cavalry General. Well, I don't know. Better. That's a clockable. And June 15th is going to be a decent time, I think, to end the episode. I want to thank you all for watching, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Love to see you around more often. And, of course, Please post questions, comments, suggestions, ideas. Love hearing from you. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.